Hey, what's up, you guys? Angela the Tree Queen here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, once again, I really do hope that during these critical, horrible times that you guys and you guys' families are keeping safe, and if not, and if things are going a bit bad for you, I do send all my positive vibes towards you in the hopes that everything will get better. Now, let's move on to today's subject for today. Now, of course, you guys know that normally I like to talk about the scientifical and the geography part of all my lessons and all my ideas, but today I thought I'd shake up a little bit and I'd try and mix it up. And today I'm actually going to be talking about the scientific and the design and technology part of this actual subject, and it's a mix of the two, as I did learn this all topic in both of these lessons in both of these subjects. So let's move on to it, and our big word for today is robots. Now, robots are actually a very wide definition type of thing, and people underestimate the power of robots, and some people overestimate the power of robots, because there are a lot of discussion about it today, and they have been for the past couple of months. And the big question is, can robots take over the world? Can they take our jobs from us? Could they put a lot of people out of business? And could they turn on us? Could they complete like a whole type of army and turn against us humans, because we're creating so many these days? And of course, you guys know that I do not like to be biased in these type of things, so I'm going to be talking about both sides of the argument. You know, the yes, they could take over the world, and the no, they couldn't take over the world, to make sure that you guys get the right information about this whole thing, as it is misinterpreted a lot. So let's move on to it. Now, the big reason why robots would not technically be able to take over the world exactly is because they only have as much knowledge as their creator gives them. You see, people actually create robots, architects and people create robots, and they only give them a specific amount of knowledge and a specific their amount to know, to make sure that they don't, they don't go overboard. So they don't know more than their creator knows, and because of that, they can't really take over the world, because they don't know as much as we do about it, as us humans create the robots, not the other way around. So it is very less likely that people will have the ability to ask, robots can take over the world or can't they, because this is a pretty big factor about it, saying that they can't really take over the world. Now, reason number two, this is actually quite a minor reason, but does play a big part in the robot's life, is their hands. As robots are normally the type of thing where you give them an instruction and they have to carry it out. It is mostly a physical instruction. For example, bring me a water bottle. And because they are a robot and their job is to follow instructions, they would pick up a water bottle and bring it to you. But of course, their hands are created by specific architects, and they do not work like humans' hands work. So when you ask again, could robots take over our jobs, as a lot of machinery are taking over jobs, especially in things like the design industry, instead of people sewing on sewing machines, machines are just doing it for them. So they ask, could robots take over the world? But it's not that easy, since their hands, if you're talking about the robots, like the human one specifically, their hands and their joints do not work like our joints work. So no, once again, it is not very likely that robots would be able to take over the world. Now, big reason number three is because they do not think as intricately as us humans do. Robots do not think they have basic robot rights, like us humans do. We fight for, feminism rights, equal job rights, equal pay rights, like racism, things like that. Robots do not really know how to fight for that, because either they don't understand it or they do not really think it's that important. Not important in general, but important to them, because they are not part of our species. Us humans, we deserve to be treated equally, which is another thing I will be talking about a lot in my next video. But robots do not actually think that way. They don't think that they need to be treated equally like humans do. They don't need to fight. They don't think they need to fight for their rights. So again, that is a big no-no in the fact that robots would not be able to take over the world. No, because they wouldn't really know how to run it. They wouldn't know how to treat people equally, because they don't really have that definition in that head, like, oh, a woman and a man should be equal, or a black person and a white person should be equal. They don't really think like that. They are just simply people who carry out instructions as we tell them to. So once again, not to worry, it is not that easy for robots to take over the world. Now, another big question is, What if they use the knowledge that they already know and try and build an army and turn against us? Once again, like I said, the robots only have as much knowledge as the creator actually transfers towards them and makes them know. So no, they would not be able to just make an army all of a sudden and turn against us, because they are built to, let's not make this sound too harsh, but they are actually built to serve us in a way, because they are built to do things that us humans can't do, or that we can do but just do them quicker or more easier or more efficiently or just better in general. Which does raise up the question that if robots can do things better and do them quicker and more efficiently, they could take our jobs from us potentially. And I'm gonna be fair, it is a fair point. They actually could do that. But then again, creators make sure that they are very careful with how they design the actual robot and make sure that they only have as much knowledge as they need to know and that they don't go overboard. So no, it is not very, very likely that they would complete like a whole entire army and turn against us. So no need to worry. Now, of course, I have talked about the major factors in this whole robot topic, but again, like I said, I do not like to be biased, so I will be talking about one specific robot that I'm pretty sure all of you know about, as she was on the Good Morning Show with Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby, and she talked like a human. I think you guys know her. Her name is Sophia, and she is actually one big of the first AI robots that can act like a human and looks like a human and does things like a human. She flew in from Hong Kong, where she was originally created by her creator, David Hansen, and Holly and Philip asked them questions about, since she's so smart, could she potentially take over the world? Could she do things that us humans can't do? So there is, of course, the factors that play into that she could do that. Because one of the scariest things about Sophia is the fact that the more she engages in conversation and the more she sees how us humans act, she makes a little mental note about those things and she tries to mimic them. So she could potentially, yes, take away jobs from us. Like people, like robots like her, could take away jobs from us. They could replace us in a lot of different industries. But then again, we have to play in types of factors like, the hand thing, like her joints do not work the way that ours do. But I'm going to describe to you a lot of things that Sophia can do that do make her a little bit questionable and a little bit scary, because she can do a lot of amazing things. Like she participated in New York Fashion Week just last year, and she was like a model. She wore amazing clothes. She walked on a runway. She knew how to please a crowd. If you search up the video on YouTube, it's actually quite amazing how human-like she does. And she knows how to banter with people, like how to engage in normal conversations, not just, strictly Queen's English as they describe it. She knows how to talk to how us kids would talk to each other, how we would banter with each other. So then again, that is quite crazy and that is quite scary. And then one of her big features that she show off on the Good Morning Show is that she just learned how to draw. Now she can actually draw very intricate designs of people and objects. So then again, it makes you think that these type of robots, these AI robots, as they continue to learn, as they gain more knowledge, as they gain a higher IQ, they become quite scary and intimidating, because they could take a lot of things away from us. Now, if we are trying to sum it all up and answer the big questions, could robots take over the world? Could they take over our jobs? The unfortunate answer is yes. But what I can tell you is that creators are going to do everything in their power to make sure that the amount of knowledge that they know and that they accept and that they receive and that they understand is limited, to make sure that they do not go overboard and they only serve the purposes to make us humans happy. Now, that is all for today. Now, please comment on what you thought about this subject, and any suggestions or any questions you have. I would be glad to answer them. Please like and subscribe and turn on the notification button so you can get notifications when I post new videos. Anjola the Tree Queen, out.